Hello, my amazing fourth graders. I wanted to read you a story today, and this is called Frozen Wild, and it's how animals survive in the coldest places on Earth by Jim Arnosky. So, we have been reading a lot about animals and animal defenses and how animals protect themselves. So, we're going to read about this and then do a little bit, and then we're going to answer some questions and do a little bit of comparing and contrasting. Now, this book is really long and it talks about a lot of different animals. So, we're only going to read a couple of sections of this book. So this is the introduction. So if you can see, there's some pictures of some crows and some birds, and then there's a picture of a house in the winter. And it says, quietly it comes. The first frost coats the plants and footpaths. Then ice encases small streams and ponds. Snow falls. Big lakes freeze over. Mighty rivers flow more slowly, turning to slush. And the north wind blows. Winter is here. And even in the coldest regions of our planet, every living thing must adjust somehow to survive. Now, we've been talking about surviving and all of the adaptations that animals make to protect themselves to survive. Our seasons are caused by the strange fact that, unlike the other planets in our solar system that spin upright, Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees on its axis. Because of this tilt, different portions of the Earth's surface are exposed more directly to the sun's rays at different times during the year-long trip. Northern winter occurs when the North Pole is tilted away from the sun. Winter in the southern hemisphere happens when the North Pole is tilted toward the sun. As I write this, the North Pole is tilted away from the sun and winter has a vice-like grip on the North Country where I live. But I am warm inside my house with a hot fire crackling in the wood stove. This book is about the wild animals of snow-covered fields and forests, the great northern plains, vast stretches of frozen tundra, and icy polar regions. Wild animals that have to survive day after day, night after night, out in the cold. I've been outdoors every day walking in their tracks, learning more about their lives in winter. Dress warmly and follow my snowshoe trail. Let's learn together. Jim Arnosky. So this is from the author about what his book is about. So the first animal that we're going to read about is moose and snowshoe hare. So it's the snow travelers. So you can see this picture of this huge moose and the snowshoe hare. A hare is another name for a type of rabbit. Okay. One big factor in an animal's survival outdoors in winter is how well it can get around in snow to find available food and also run to escape danger. Small, lightweight animals such as squirrels and mice run on snow without sinking deeply into it, or they can tunnel through it to get from feeding spot to feeding spot. Foxes, bobcats, and lynx grow extra hair around their feet, creating natural snowshoes. And as their names suggest, snowshoe hares have very large hind feet that keep them on top of the snow. Deer, however, are especially vulnerable in deep snow. Their slender legs and sharply pointed hooves poke deep, narrow holes, bogging down the deer and making it difficult, if not impossible, for them to run from predators. In snow country, deer yard up under the sheltering boughs of evergreen trees. There, the deer tramp down a maze of trails in the deep snow so they can run from danger and move about as they feed on evergreen buds. The largest member of the deer family, the moose, has little trouble getting around in deep snow. A moose's enormous hooves punch wide holes in snow, and its powerful leg muscles pull each step out quickly enough to be able to run if need be. In the Arctic, polar bears travel by running on the frozen ocean. When the ice begins to melt and break apart, the bears swim from one floating ice pack to another. The deeper an animal's body sinks into snow, the harder it is to travel fast or far. So down here they have a picture of the snowshoe hare, then a red fox, then a deer, and then a moose. And then up here, they have a picture of porcupines, and it says porcupines travel the same routes daily, creating gully trails packed down by their flat, oval feet. Okay. Then we're going to read about Arctic animals. So here's a picture of some whales. It looks like some killer whales in the ocean. And then there's a picture of a walrus up there, and then the globe. Arctic. At the northernmost portion of the globe is the Arctic Ocean. With the North Pole in its frozen center, the area known as the Arctic Circle includes the Arctic Ocean and many islands and parts of the continental United States, Canada, Greenland, Scandinavia, and Russia. Within the Arctic Circle are vast areas of ocean, ice pack, glaciers, mountains, rivers, forests, and treeless plains called tundra. Such diversity of habitats supports a variety of wild animals. During the long northern winter, so much of the Arctic is tilted away from the sun that the temperatures can drop to negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit. In such extreme cold, it takes a thick layer of fat and a very dense coat to keep an animal from freezing solid. Arctic mammals such as polar bears, seals, walruses, and whales, all of which swim in the frigid water to get from place to place or to catch their food, have either waterproof fur or an extra thick layer of fat called blubber to keep them warm. Killer whales, shown at the left, frequent Arctic waters, hunting together for seals, dolphins, belugas, which are small white whales, and even swimming bears. There is no actual pole in the ice at the North Pole, of course. The North Pole is just a measurement of the exact point marking the northernmost point of planet Earth. A thick skin plus 3 inches of blubber keep a walrus insulated from the Arctic cold. So that's just some descriptions of what the pictures are. Now we get to open up this page and we get to see all of these amazing animals. So, Arctic animals. Animals that live in the Arctic year-round roam the frigid landscape and swim in Arctic waters searching for food. Warm-blooded mammals and birds must eat constantly to keep warm. Fish feed whenever they can and as much as they can to maintain their strength for swimming against the cold, powerful water currents. The narwhal is an Arctic species with a long, spiraled tusk. The tusk is one of 2 front teeth that, in male narwhals, grows through the skin and keeps growing. A narwhal uses its pointed tusk to fight other male narwhals during breeding season. So you can see the picture right here, of the narwhal. The polar bear feeds primarily on seals, but will eat anything it can get its claws into. A polar bear is so strong it can even dive into the water and kill a small whale, such as the beluga. Walruses and seals are slow and clumsy on land, but graceful and swift in the water. A walrus's tusks are not used for eating, they are for fighting other walruses. So here's a picture of the polar bear and the walrus. Now this is a harbor seal, and it says the harbor seal is named for its habit of frequenting harbors and shipping ports. And then it says the beluga is a small Arctic whale that feeds on fish. It is the only all-white whale. So then you have a picture of the harbor seal and the beluga whale. Okay, now we open it up and we get even more animals. Sorry, I'm going to move so that I can see and I can read for you. The musk oxen's main predator is the Arctic wolf. When confronted by wolves, a herd of oxen face the danger together, forming a circle, all heads and horns facing outward, with the most vulnerable among them in the center. So there's the musk oxen right there. Over 240 species of fish swim in the Arctic Ocean, with the cods being among the most numerous. Shown above is the Atlantic cod. Flounders, skates, rays, and some species of sharks also live in the Arctic. The wolf of the Arctic is the timber or gray wolf. So it's down here at the bottom by my thumb. Gray wolves can be gray, brown, black, or pure white in color. Okay. All right, so we're going to go back up here and talk about the snowy. The snowy owl can be found in the Arctic year-round, but when food becomes scarce, snowy owls fly south into Canada. Some snowy owls winter in the United States. The gregarious Arctic hare lives in groups of 10 to 100 or more. During snowstorms, they crowd together to keep each other warm. When danger threatens, they disperse and run every which way, confusing predators. Okay. Musk oxen live in small herds on the Arctic tundra. In winter, they dig down in the snow as deep as 3 feet in order to feed on the vegetation beneath. Lake trout are freshwater fish that inhabit only deep, cold lakes. And then it says Arctic grayling live in clear, cold, freshwater streams and lakes. So it's just the two different types of fish that they're talking about right here and then right here. And it talks about Arctic foxes are brown in summer and white in winter. They live on the tundra and rocky Arctic coast. And then ptarmigans are chicken-like birds that are white in the winter and brown in the summer. They live in the Arctic year-round. So here's a picture down here of that type of chicken-like bird. So those were some of the animals that are in the Arctic. And the last thing that I'm going to read is about staying warm. So it's just another thing that animals have to do to survive. Staying warm. You wouldn't go outdoors in the cold without wearing a winter coat. Wild animals live outdoors all the time, and in winter, those that do not migrate to warmer places grow winter coats to keep them warm. A mammal's winter protection is made up of 3 parts: an extra layer of fat under the skin, a woolly layer of dense fur, and a sleek, water-shedding outer coat of guard hairs. Furry animals such as foxes, beavers, weasels, wildcats, and wolves all have a dense, woolly undercoat that traps body heat and holds it, and an outer coat of luxurious guard hairs. An animal's coat covers completely, so no spot on the animal's body is unprotected. When you see an animal with snow piling up on its back, that's a sign that no body heat is escaping and the animal is warm. Birds are protected from winter wind and cold by a layer of soft, fluffy down that is covered by the bird's feathers. In extremely cold weather, a bird can raise and fluff its feathers so the air trapped beneath them, heated by the bird's body, adds another layer of warmth. In fact, many animals, including humans, have tiny muscles in the skin that lift hairs in reaction to cold air. That's what goosebumps are all about. So if you look at this fox, it's laying in the snow and it looks as warm and cozy as ever. Up here it says deer change from a summer coat of fine glossy hairs to a winter coat of longer, thicker hairs that are hollow and have air trapped inside them for added warmth. Okay, and those are chickadees with fluffed feathers. And then down here it says some animals such as the Arctic fox and the snowshoe hare have the extraordinary ability to change color from summer brown to winter white to camouflage against the snow. The color change happens gradually. So then it shows down there the snowshoe hare. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed reading and learning about some of the animals in the frozen wild. And I'm going to have some questions for you to answer. And we're going to probably compare and contrast a couple of animals. But we've been learning in our animal behaviors, animal defense book about all of the different defenses that animals take to protect themselves. And so developing a winter coat and learning how to survive in the Arctic is one of the adaptations that they make, along with using chemicals, poisons, having body armor, and fleeing or escaping to protect themselves. So I hope you enjoyed the stories that we read, or the different animals that we read on today. I hope you enjoy your day, and I know you'll do great answering the questions. Feel free to stop this video and pause it whenever needed, or go back and listen to it again to read about the animals so you can get the questions right. Have a great day, guys.